The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets might be underdogs in week one, but one NFL analyst makes the case why the Jets should be the favorites and will win their opener against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. We'll talk about that and the latest with the Jets. Matt O'Leary is going to join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Thursday. Welcome in, everybody. Before we bring on the great Matt O'Leary, I need to start the show off by showing the Asmaniac community one of the most incredible emails I have ever received since I started doing this daily YouTube show. Gerry Jet sent me an email, and he wrote, "Dear Jake, I have been listening into the show for the last few weeks, and you have really reset my Jets mindset. Not even J-Mac ever did that. You're great at your craft. Thought I'd show my appreciation with a trip to the tattoo parlor where I might have lost my mind, but YOLO, let me know what you think. Forgive the blood and subtle prison element. Never change. Gerry Jet." Ladies and gentlemen, the most incredible email I think I've ever received. Gerry Jet, shout out to you. I hope you could call in. I mean, you could literally see the blood from the tattoo. It's how fresh this thing is. So shout out to Gerry Jet getting the Asmaniac logo tattooed on him. Just an unbelievable gesture. I'm completely taken aback and blown away. So Gerry Jet, if you're watching either live or after the fact, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please respond to my email. I want to send you a bunch of Asmaniac swag as a small token of appreciation. But man, the Jets have caused me so much pain that I will never tattoo their logo on my body. They don't deserve it. All right. It's bad enough I got to watch them and be a diehard fan, but for someone to tattoo not only the Jet logo, but our logo for this community, just unbelievable. So thank you to Gerry Jet for the tremendous support. Just blown away by that. Unreal. And it's a great looking tattoo. Really, really looks clean and fresh. So let's go Jets, man. This fan base deserves a great year, and hopefully they get off to a great start, and we'll talk about that and much more right now with a good friend of the show, fellow Jet content creator, Matt O'Leary joins us now. Matt, happy Thursday. Appreciate you hopping on. When are you getting an Asmaniac tattoo?
Yeah, I gotta get my appointment set up now, I think, after that. Is that automatic 1 seed next year in the Madness bracket?
Man,
it has to be, right?
I'll tell you what, if calls in once, like we just got to put him in the tournament, top seed. I mean, no questions asked, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely unbelievable. We were saying backstage before we hopped on, this community is just really something special, man, of Jets fans.
No doubt. And look, speaking of Jet fans, I had an interesting conversation yesterday with a fellow diehard Jet fan, my guy Jeff Parles, who lives and dies with the team like we all do. He does a gambling show in Las Vegas, Sports by the Book. Check Jeff out yesterday if you missed it. He made a really good point, and one that I was not really considering when it comes to the Jets' week one matchup against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. So, Matt, I'll play the clip, and then we could break it down. Are you buying what Jeff Parles is selling here on why the Jets have not just a good chance to win, but why he thinks they are going to win week one against the Steelers?
But there's no expectations for this team. They have a 5.5 win total. That's a good thing. And that's an especially good thing in week one when you have no tape on what this Jet offense is going to actually look like with a first-time offensive coordinator. We have ideas, but we don't know, Jake. We don't know what it's going to exactly look like. And, yeah, we have ideas what Aaron Glenn's defense is going to look like. But, again, there's no tape. This is going to be a unique circumstance for the Pittsburgh Steelers having to go on the road. By the way, Tomlin either loses week one or wins as an underdog. So I actually feel good that the Jets are a dog in this game. I'd be a lot more scared if the Jets were favored in this game. We'll see. We'll see. Look, it's a lot of history to get over with. The worst possible thing that can humanly happen is Rodgers goes out, is 27 of 35 for 325 yards and throws 3 touchdowns to Metcalf, and we're all miserable right away. But I don't know. I'm a little bit higher on this Jet team. I'm not saying that they're playoff good, but they're very capable of going 7-10, 8-9, maybe even 9-8, with vibes being high going into 2026 to finally end the drought.
So let's talk about the first part of that, and then we could talk about the broader expectations. The idea that, hey, the Jets, brand new offense, new quarterback, new play caller. I looked at it like, man, it's going to take some time for them to get things going. I'm just very concerned about, an established team, an established coach like Tomlin coming in, having his guys ready to go, and it's Glenn's first game. But Jeff makes a good point. No one knows exactly what the offense for the Jets is going to look like. No one knows exactly what the blend of Steve Wilks and Aaron Glenn's defense is going to look like. I think it's actually a pretty compelling point that the Jets being at home, getting points, right? Home underdog. I'm not saying they're going to win because I'm still terrified of Rodgers torching us week 1 and us being, the butt of jokes as usual. But I will admit, Matt, hearing that, I'm like, that does make a lot of sense what Jeff was saying there.
Yeah, I totally understand those who just have the fear of Rodgers going off, right? Because it's the Jets, and we've seen a ton of embarrassing moments in big spots for this franchise. But I'm kind of with Jeff. I think it's a good spot for the Jets in week 1 because even with Aaron Rodgers, I think for the Steelers, they're going to win a lot of games low scoring, tight, and because of their defense. And I feel the same way about the Jets. I don't know what the over under is in this game, but I'm taking the under no matter what. I think we're looking at like a 16-13 game. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but would I be surprised if it's 13-13, Jets have the ball and have a chance to go down and kick a game winning field goal on a final drive? No, I wouldn't. And I like that the Jets are underdogs too. Nobody really has expectations, and I think that's when you usually see the Jets overachieve. I don't know, like Jeff, I don't know if they're a playoff team this year, but I think they have a chance to be feisty and a tough team to play against. So I'm all in on this optimism from our guy Jeff here.
Well, it's interesting because, week 1, a lot of crazy things happen anyway, and specifically with Rodgers, right? I mean, he's had some years where his teams look terrible week 1. He's played poor, and then he's gone out there and won MVP. So he's been a slow starter at times in his career. I mean, it's tough to really know what the last 2 years mean for week 1. 2 years ago, it lasted 4 plays. Last year, I mean, the entire team kind of sucked and they got blown out, and, they were in the game until they weren't on Monday night a year ago. So I don't know. I do think there could take, some time for Rodgers to gel with his new weapons. I mean, he wasn't at OTAs. He just showed up for 3 days of minicamp. He'll have 1 training camp, but that's really it. It's still a new offensive line he's working with, new coaches. Like, it could take some time for him to get going. And that was my thing with the Jets, but you could say the same thing about the Steelers. I guess the biggest concern I have is we're talking about a Mike Tomlin team. But as I say that, Jeff is right. The Steelers have lost a lot, especially early. And it's not like they're going, 13-5 every year, 13-4. This is a Steelers team that is 9-8, 10-7, which means they're going to lose some games in the regular season. So let's hope it's week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. They're even best case scenario, I think they're maybe around the 9 or 10 win team, which seems like that's always the play for the Mike Tomlin Pittsburgh Steelers. But, there's been over the last couple of years, a lot of letdown games, I feel like, for Pittsburgh, and, a couple spots and big moments. And, we saw Rodgers last year. I think if there was ever a team that would know him best, it might be the Jets after what they just saw him last year. And, I have some questions about the Steelers' offensive line. Broderick Jones is moving from right tackle to left tackle. I think Will McDonald could have a big day. He did last year against the Steelers, had a couple sacks. I wouldn't be surprised, especially if the Jets get some pressure on Aaron Rodgers and use some exotic blitzes, which to me, that's more Steve Wilks and Aaron Glenn than it is Robert Saleh and their defensive coordinator from last year. I think, it was pretty much we're going to rush 4 and we're going to beat you with our front 4. I think they're going to blitz, and last year against both Denver and Minnesota, 2 of the most blitz-heavy teams in the league, those were 2 of Rodgers' worst games of the season. So I'm about it. I think there absolutely is a path to an upset in week 1.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're talking with Matt O'Leary. Super Chat will cut the line. I shared the news already on the Jake Asman Discord channel, which you could become a member of as one of your perks for joining my Patreon. But Matt, of course, some sad news yesterday in the Jet universe. Jets legend, Ring of Honor member, Super Bowl champion Gerry Philbin, he passed away at age 83. His family said the cause of death was from dementia. So thoughts, of course, with Gerry Philbin and his family. What I wanted to do to pay homage to Gerry Philbin today is do a Gerry Philbin themed giveaway. So we got 2 prizes we will raffle away at the end of the show. All you need to do to enter is either call in and you earn a raffle ticket, send in a $10 super chat or higher and you'll get 2 tickets, or gift a channel membership. And for however many memberships you gift, you're entered in the raffle. The prizes we'll give away. First time we're going to give away 2 prizes on the same daily raffle on a show. This 8x10 photo of Gerry Philbin sacking. It might be Johnny U. I can't quite tell in the photo here from Super Bowl III, but it says Gerry Philbin's autograph on it and Super Bowl III champs. And then this is a 1972 Topps trading card of Gerry Philbin with the Jets. An old Ithaca College professor sent me a bunch of old school Jet trading cards years ago, and I've had it in my collection. And I checked this morning. I go, oh, I have a Gerry Philbin card. So I have it right here. It's from 1972. We will send that to one lucky listener that wins as well. So RIP to Gerry Philbin, and we'll pay homage to him on the show with 2 exciting giveaways for any Asmaniac who wants a chance to win. That said, I told you about this before the show. The New York Post causing a lot of debate in the Jet universe with their Mount Jetsmore. Your thoughts on your personal Mount Rushmore of New York Jets? One's obvious, right? Joe Namath, and then you got 3 more spots to fill. Your thoughts on that?
I'm glad that I didn't see what the Post put out, so I'll react to that after. But if I were to do mine, Joe Namath's on there, Darrelle Revis is on there, and then I think I'd go Curtis Martin and Joe Klecko to round it out as my top 4.
So you have Joe Namath, Darrelle Revis, Joe Klecko, and Curtis Martin.
Correct.
So no Don Maynard.
No, I would have Don Maynard off, and that's probably the younger Jet fan bias in me, and I totally admit that. And you can make a strong case for Don Maynard. I wouldn't be upset if he's on anyone's 4, but personally, I would have a tough time leaving off Curtis and Darrelle for me.
Yep, I totally get that. Here is the official one from the New York Post. This was voted on by their reporters who covered the Jets. Joe Namath, Curtis Martin, Don Maynard, and Joe Klecko. They didn't have Revis on there. And I just think you have to have Darrelle Revis on there. We're not talking about one of the best Jets ever. We're talking about one of the best corners ever, where to a point where you could argue Revis is like peak 4-year run from 2008 to 2011, might be the greatest, most dominant 4 years anyone's ever had at that position. And to a point where if you're doing an all-time NFL team, the greatest players of all time, Revis might be the corner starting opposite Deion Sanders. That's how good he was.
Yeah, and I was going to say, too, I think like looking at position by position for each one of these guys and where they rank all time, Revis has got to be the highest up there of everyone. You know, like Namath obviously super important for the Jets and just NFL history with the AFL and NFL merger. But I'd argue that Revis is higher in the cornerback rankings than Don Maynard at receiver, Curtis Martin at running back, Joe Namath at quarterback, and Joe Klecko at wherever you want to put him, defensive end or defensive tackle. So that's why he makes it for me. I also saw him play too, so there's a little bias in that, like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, that would be a tough. Who would you take off this to put Revis in, or do you have your own personal 4?
So I went with Joe Namath, Don Maynard, Curtis Martin, and Darrelle Revis. I couldn't find a spot for Klecko, and it simply just came down to really Klecko just got narrowly beat out by Curtis. Maybe it's biased like what you're talking about because we saw Curtis play. I couldn't find a spot for Klecko, and that's no knock on Klecko, but like I needed to have Revis on there. Namath's a lock. I put Martin in, and I think Maynard, if you go back and look at his numbers and the era he played in, when he retired, he was the all-time NFL leading wide receiver. He had the huge 53-yard reception in the howling winds at Shea Stadium in the 1968 AFL title game that got the Jets to the Super Bowl, scored the game-winning touchdown a play later in that game, was obviously paramount on a team that won a championship. I had to put Maynard on there. So for me, it came down to Klecko versus Martin because Revis had to be on there for me. And I went with Curtis, but if you put Klecko on there, I have no issue with any Jet fan who does that.
Yeah, and like Maynard would probably be my honorable mention, or like the first guy left off. And it's you can only pick 4 guys, right? Like it's really hard thing to do.
I'm glad you know that, by the way. We had a caller, Rob from Glenhead. He was unaware until the other day that Mount Rushmore means only 4.
Okay. Yeah. Breaking news to our friend Rob here. But, yeah. It's tough. It's tough to narrow it down to just 4, and leaving Klecko off, I'm sure was tough for you also.
Very tough because, Joe Klecko is an all-time great. It's just, it can only be 4. Someone is inevitably going to be left off.
Yeah.
The New York Post also did an all-time just New York football Mount Rushmore, and 2 Jets of the 4 were represented. I want to see if you could get this. I won't tell you. You could probably guess one, but there's another Jet. I won't specify beyond that. There's another Jet figure that is on the all-time New York football Mount Rushmore. So this is now including the Jets and the Giants.
Okay, so I'd imagine it's got to be Joe Namath. Lawrence Taylor's got to be one of the Giants, right?
Joe Namath and Lawrence Taylor are both on there. You need 2 more.
Okay, I'll go Eli as the 3rd.
Eli is on there.
Okay, so can I go 4 for 4? I'm going to say they put Klecko as the 4th.
No. Now,
okay, who was it?
Without spoiling it, this person has a connection to both the Jets and the Giants.
This person has a connection to Bill Parcells.
Yes, there you go. I didn't want to say player because I didn't want to lead you down the wrong path. Okay. I actually think that makes sense, right? To me, Namath and Lawrence Taylor are automatic locks. Then Eli's got 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's got to be on there. And Bill Parcells won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants and had tremendous success with the Jets. Got them to the AFC Championship game in his second year after he took over the worst team in the NFL and immediately had them turned around instantly.
Yeah, that's a really good choice. I wasn't even thinking coach or front office people, but yeah, I mean, for impact on both the Jets and the Giants, yeah, he would have to be up there.
Now, people are questioning Eli. I don't think you could question Eli. Eli Manning is a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and the Super Bowl win he had in 2007 was against arguably the greatest team of all time had they won that game. So I think Eli has to be on the Mount Rushmore of New York football players.
Yeah, I did put him on there, but I think he's a little overrated by some. I think the playoff, and the most important is Super Bowls, right? And playoff success. I think that kind of outweighs some of his regular season numbers. So like if we're talking ranking all-time quarterbacks, I probably have him a little lower than some might, but if we're talking impact on New York football, a guy who wins 2 championships got to be on the list.
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough winning in New York football history to not include a 2-time Super Bowl MVP who did it against the Patriots and the greatest dynasty the sport has ever had. So something to be said for that. Jay says, I hear you, Jake, but Eli's not even a Hall of Famer. He's not yet. I know he didn't get in on his first ballot. He's going to get in eventually, though. Eli Manning will be in the Hall of Fame someday.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think he eventually gets in. Again, there's some of his regular season numbers. I don't think he's amazing as an all-time player, but if they're going to put in someone who has 2 rings and 2 Super Bowl MVP, so eventually he gets in.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first super chat on the day, which means our first raffle entries coming from Julian Manfredo. Matt, what do you think about the Jets defense against Rodgers and DK Metcalf? They should know Rodgers' tendencies, right?
Yeah, that was similar to what I was saying earlier on in the show. I think that, they saw him last year, number one, but I point to 2 of his games that he really struggled in, Denver and Minnesota, and those 2 teams blitzed the hell out of him. And I think he's going to a worse offensive line in Pittsburgh. So my play against him would be, send Quincy Williams on a blitz, send Michael Carter on a blitz and get after the quarterback. And if they hit Rodgers and get him off his mark, I think, that's the recipe for success.
100%. I mean, look, I want to see a lot of blitzing, man. I want to see Quincy. I want to see Sherwood. I want to see them send the house and really challenge the Steelers O-line, challenge Rodgers to have everyone on the same page and be able to adjust protections when he hasn't done it a lot with these players. Like, we know Rodgers is very particular about how he wants things done. So let's really challenge him. And if you get beat, you get beat. But I also want to see, hey, Sauce, you want to be, and maybe at that time he's already been paid, like one of the best corners in the league, DK Metcalf's your assignment. Shadow him. Like, let's if we're going to pay Sauce that kind of money, let's use the asset properly. If we're going to play a lot more man and press coverage, Sauce is elite at that. If you look at how he grades out in his career so far in man press coverage, let's go. Against DK, he played well against them last year. I want to see that be a huge factor in this game, Sauce against DK and shutting him down.
Yeah, and their wide receiver room beyond DK Metcalf doesn't really scare you a ton. I think, Freiermuth at tight end is another weapon that they'll have to take care of, and maybe that's a job for, either Quincy Williams or Andre Cisco. But, I think like you said, you put Sauce on DK, and then you give Brandon Stevens help on the other side with, whoever the free safety ends up being, and I think you're good to go.
Jaquez says, the Jets are turning this around soon. This is the start. I can't take more losing.
I don't know how many more losing seasons I could take either, but
how many times have we said that, by the way?
Every year, just about. I want to see them take a tangible step forward this year, even if that's just winning 2 more games than what it was last year. But be a feisty 7-win team. Show me growth.
Show me growth. Please win some football games too. That'd be nice. Will writes in, awesome. Matt O'Leary on today. I was just watching his video yesterday with his voicemails. Well, you should watch every Matt O'Leary video. Matt O'Leary NY is where you subscribe to Matt's channel. Ryan says, good morning, the Jet fans and Jet fans only. That means you're not saying good morning to Alan, who immediately saw the tattoo that Gerry Jet sent in and says that tattoo won't age well. Alan also responding to Six Rings, who's a noted Patriots fan. He says, Pats 12, get a men's Drake May jersey. First piece of advice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not messing around today. Your douchebag of the day award winner with an automatic trip to the hole is none other than Alan. Farewell, Alan. Goodbye.
Now look what you've done, Alan. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
I can't deal with it today, Matt. I can't do it.
Quick hook today.
Yep. Not messing around. It's too hot outside. I had to sleep with 3 fans on me last night. It didn't work. Just brutal. Anyway, Coach James checks in. Shout out to Coach James. We got an exciting announcement about Coach James. He's got a new book out, and Asmaniac is an author, so we'll tell you guys about that in a future show in the near future. I think our first game will be a good show on how Glenn and his coaches prepare and adjust during the game and game plan. Will be a good review for what's coming during the season. Well, one of the things that Saleh sucked at, anytime the Jets had a lot of time to prepare, they were awful. So week 1, you've never had more time to prepare than you do for that first game of the year. And it's Glenn's first ever game. So what's the first impression, right? We like the press conferences and some of the stuff we're hearing coming out of OTAs and minicamp. But like the first impression for everyone's going to be September 7th against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you're right. Like they've known this opponent. Voice is going today.
Are you getting emotional talking about Glenn having his team ready to play?
Yeah, man. Aaron Glenn, first, Jets player, now head coach. It's a lot, but in all seriousness, they've known this opponent for a long time. I think they're going to come out with a plan and it's going to work out.
They better. It's an emotional time for all of us, man.
I don't know what it is. Anytime I come on the show, it feels like I lose my voice.
I get it. It's a very, very touchy subject talking about our beloved New York Jets. For those 2 to get late, raffle giveaways, our weekly prizes. Speaking of Aaron Glenn, a signed Aaron Glenn jersey, a signed Justin Fields jersey, and we were just talking about Sauce Gardner, a signed Sauce Gardner jersey. Those are the top 3 prizes. And in honor of Gerry Philbin, we're going to be raffling away at the end of the show 2 Gerry Philbin prizes, daily raffle, 1972 Topps Gerry Philbin trading card, and an 8x10 signed Super Bowl III champ photo by Gerry Philbin himself. So those are the top 2 prizes. You call them the show, you get a raffle ticket, you gift the membership, or send the requisite super chat. You're in as well. Huge shout out to Anthony for supporting our channel. He is in the Asmaniac raffle for 5.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Anthony's 5 gifted memberships went to B40, EJ, A-Ray, Josh G, Brian Keeley. Thank you to everyone who got a membership for watching. And, of course, thank you again to Anthony for being the first to gift memberships today. Matt, the other clip I wanted to play to get your thoughts on from my conversation yesterday with Jeff is Jeff going through the schedule, and he made a point about the first half of the schedule that I want your take on, if you agree or disagree. This was Jeff yesterday on the show.
I expect the Jets to go over their win total. The problem the Jets have is their early season schedule is it could be a massacre. Their schedule is brutal. Their back end is very conducive to going 4-1 or 5-2 in the last 7 games. It's just a matter of surviving these games early in the season. You got to get the Pittsburgh game. You got to get the game against Denver and London. You got to get these coin flip spots against teams that are either slightly better than you or of the same ability if you're going to do something of surprise of ending the playoff drought this year, Jake.
Your take on that, Matt?
Yeah, I think he's spot on, honestly. I look at it, it's a tough start before the bye. 8 games before the bye. I think at worst 3-5 going into the bye to have, any chance of going on a little bit of a run in the second half. But if they're anything lower than that, I think even with the schedule lightening up in the second half, I think that would be digging themselves too big of a hole. I'd love 4-4, get me to 500, but I think 3-5 is probably more likely. But even at that point, I think you're still alive with how things project in the second half.
I kind of look at it the same way, right? Like if you're around 3-5, you come out of the bye, you got a home game against Cleveland. That's winnable. I'm not sold on New England being this great team. I'm just not. I think they've clearly improved at coach. We'll see what Drake May is in his second year. They don't have a ton of talent, though, around them. They're relying a lot on a 31-year-old wide receiver coming off ACL surgery to be like their top playmaker. So that concerns me a bit. New England, though, until proven otherwise, I mean, they have a legit coach, so we'll see. And that game is, in New England, Thursday Night Football. I'm always kind of weary, too, when we talk about, the first half of the schedule is brutal because there's been several years recently where we felt as fans, man, the first half's so tough, and the Jets actually survived the first half, get off to a decent start, and then the collapse happens against teams that were thought to be bad, and they end up being good. Like, that was 2022. In a nutshell, the Lions at the end of the year were supposed to suck. They lost that game. The same thing with the Jaguars in the game I got pneumonia from, the Zach Wilson getting benched for a CFLer game. Like, you go down the line, Seattle was supposed to be bad that year, Regino, and you just never know. But I do think, especially the first 4 weeks, when you look at Pittsburgh, Buffalo, both at home, you got to start at least 1-1. And then your next 2, Tampa, Asmaniacs will be there. Hopefully they win that one. And then Miami, can you start 2-2? Is that crazy? I don't think it's crazy, but that just places a huge emphasis on not putting yourself in that 0-2 hole.
Yeah, I was just looking back at 2022 because that really sparked something for me in the second half of that year. Right, a tough start. You start against the AFC North, and they end up 6-3 before the bye. And then they lose to New England out of the bye, who stunk that year. Lose to Minnesota, Buffalo, Detroit, Jacksonville, Seattle, and Miami to close their season. So from 7-4 to 7-10. It's funny how that works, but you're right. To me, it's early, but it still feels like survive the first half of the schedule, put yourself in a good spot to maybe make some noise, and don't die in the second half of the season. That felt like the Robert Saleh Jets. They would just fall off a cliff in the second half. So avoid doing that.
This was every Jet fan last year, the year before that, watching the Jets in the second half of the season.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
It never ended. The collapse. God.
What a video.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you kidding me? Speaking of lovely ladies, Mimosa in the house, the pride of Gainesville, gifting 20 channel memberships. Give it up for Mimosa. She just made 20 Asmaniacs official channel members.
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
Oh, it's raining channel memberships, Matt. Got my Gustbuster umbrella. Here we go. Hit the rain. Mimosa, thank you very much. I'm going to rapid fire through 20 names real quick. Give Matt a chance to hopefully, wipe the tears away from his face. It's been very emotional so far on the program today. Judge Ganna, No Nav, 518, Gus, Cap, Useless Bob, Kevin Bean, Romeo, Philip Rinaldi, Jeff Davis, Adam Procalini, Gray Kaufman, Dominic Lazuzzo, Green Team, 14 years, Ryan Hawk, JJ, Mac Daddy, Jet Up 3, Havamo Jets, Rich, that's our guy Rich, channel moderator Rich, committee member Rich. He is the 20th person there from Mimosa to receive a gifted membership. Thank you very much to Mimosa, as always, for her great support. Shout out to Mimosa as well. She's taking on a bunch of extra responsibilities at work, I was told. So shout out to you, Mimosa. Also, shout out to Eli Betts, who's won a bunch of prizes. He is in the raffle for 5. Eli's 5 gifted memberships went to the following listeners: Yo Holmes, Tom Ace, another channel mod, Dave Briga, everyone that is in Asmaniac Madness or associated with it's getting a membership today. Gary K. Jr., M. Villette, all receiving memberships there from Eli. All right, comments, questions, super chats. We're going to get to your calls coming up, but I do want to get to a few super chats here that came through the pipeline. This one is from Team Curry, who says Mount Rushmore, or my Rushmore guys with the best nicknames: Broadway Joe, Revis Island, Sack Exchange, my favorite Martin, P.S. Laura Prepon Redhead, P.P.S. love the tattoo. Okay, a couple things here. Team Curry is a listener of mine who actually has the Jet tattoo on his body as well. So he could relate to what the great Gerry Jet is going through today after he sent us this incredible Asmaniac Jet tattoo to my email last night. The other part of this is the Sack Exchange is obviously an iconic nickname, but I'm assuming he's just going to put Klecko on as the representative from that era on the Mount Rushmore, because the other names here, like you could do Broadway Joe, Darrell Revis, Klecko, and then Curtis Martin. And if that's your Jet Mount Rushmore, like I think a lot of people would have no issue with that. Yeah,
that was mine. I'm totally good with that. And Sack Exchange is an all-time nickname too. I know it counts for 4 of those guys, but still just a 10 out of 10 name.
Yeah, it really is a great name. Cash Taylor with a super chat. If we lose week 1, are we pushing the panic button?
No.
I guess how does it look week 1? Are we getting blown out and Rodgers torches us? Because then I'm going to be furious. I'm just letting everyone know.
Yeah, if it's 30-3, maybe we hit the panic button. But if they lose 20-17, I don't think I'm hitting the panic button on it.
You guys are going to week 1, right? Talking Jets?
Yeah, we have yet to see a win.
Yeah, that's
which is not great.
I was going to bring that up. I don't feel great about our chances knowing that now.
I don't blame you. I don't feel great about our chances knowing that.
Vlad Gypsy checks in. We can't lose to the Steelers. That game is important. I do think it's important. Look, obviously they could lose week 1 and then they bounce back week 2. 1-1. We all signed for that right now. Big win over the Bills. We know how the NFL works. You win, you feel like you're never going to lose again. You lose, it's the worst thing ever. We get that. We as Jet fans get that more than most. But I do think, week 1, if they could win, that does make me feel really good about this coaching staff and specifically Glenn and trying to erase the same old Jets karma that's hovering over the franchise. Beating Aaron Rodgers week 1, no matter how you do it, that to me is really important for the moxie of the fan base.
Yeah, and I feel like it would get Aaron Glenn off on a good note. As for as many people that like Aaron Glenn, I feel like there's a lot of skeptics too, and I think that would really set the tone if they have what would be considered an upset win to start off the season.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dixon Yass writes in, I have a Jets tattoo as well, but they still disappoint me. Matt and Jake, legends. Thank you, Dixon. Well, I'll tell you what. If you get a Jets tattoo, it means you're just a glutton for punishment. Because why else would you want to tattoo the logo onto your body? They have done enough damage to my body. I've lost hair. I've lost sleep. I've lost the ability to love. I mean, they've destroyed me both mentally and physically. I don't know why anyone would get a tattoo, but I love the passion from Dixon and Team Curry and Gerry Jet. I hope to God that this fan base finally gets rewarded for how passionate and loyal they are.
Would you put any of your teams on your body in a tattoo?
I wouldn't. I'm not a needle guy to begin with. So if I could avoid needles on my body, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I don't have any tattoos. I don't see myself getting one, but I don't think my first choice would be a Jets logo, but I respect everyone who has that. You guys are diehards.
The Islander logo, Matt, you going to put that on your body at some point?
I don't think so. Unless now I'm going to talk myself into what if I did maybe a blend of all 3 logos in one tattoo of the teams that I care about. I think maybe that could be cool, but I'm not a needle guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Another quick reminder in honor of the great Gerry Philbin passing away. We're going to give away one signed Gerry Philbin item at the end of the show. This photo, 8x10 Super Bowl III champion photo you see on the screen. And then this 1972 Topps Gerry Philbin trading card. Plus, if you enter the raffle, you're automatically entered in everything else. Before we get to some calls, Matt, quick rapid fire for you. Your thoughts on Sauce and Garrett? Over the weekend at Fanatics Fest, Sauce made a comment to a fan that he thinks the contract's going to get done real soon. I'm expecting deals done with both. If I had to guess, I think they're maybe closer on Sauce, just the way he's kind of talking about it and some of the smoke that's out there, than they are necessarily with Garrett. But I could see both getting done. Your thoughts on where things stand with both players?
Yeah, I think both do get done before training camp starts for the Jets. So they have a few weeks before that happens, but I'm with you. I think Sauce comes first and then Garrett maybe a week or so after that.
Hopefully they're both done by training camp, so we have that joint press conference together. Like, I just think that would be such a cool moment in like recent Jets history.
Yeah, it would. I think it would be great. Kind of, set the tone for this new era of Jets football under Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. And those are two guys. I know they weren't drafted by this regime, but they're going to be building block pieces going forward and signed through their prime. The Jets very rarely draft and develop talent like to the talent of those two guys. So to have them sign through their prime should be celebrated.
Temperature check on Malachi Corley. Do you believe he makes the team?
No, I don't. I would be surprised almost at this point if he makes the team. I just think it's an uphill battle for him. I know the wide receiver room isn't really all that great, but didn't participate in minicamp or really OTAs because of injury. And I think they're going to lean towards Arian Smith for their gadget guy over Malachi Corley.
It's hard to find a spot for him unless he just really makes an impact in preseason games.
Yeah, or learns how to field punts. Can he play on special teams? He hasn't shown that yet. If he can, great. That's maybe how he makes this roster. But I hope he figured out how to return or do something on specials.
Another quick take from you, Matt. Breece Hall named by Pro Football Focus as the Jets make or break player for this season. Your thoughts on Breece being the selection?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I'm not buying, but I'm holding on to my Breece Hall stock. I think he has a good year this year. And if he does, I would give him the franchise tag for 2026.
So you're a believer in Breece bouncing back in this offense?
Yeah, I am. I think they're going to be extremely run heavy. And I think with the threat of Justin Fields as a rusher, I think Breece has a big year.
Does Breece having a great year also make you emotional?
It does. I'm a huge Breece Hall fan. I have his jersey, and I don't know what I would do if he had a really shitty season.
I get it. I got a Breece jersey as well. I have all four of the Jets 2022 draft class core. So we know they're under contract now. Collectively, Sauce, Jermaine, and Garrett for 2 more years. Breece is the first one that wow, this could actually be his last year with the team if things don't go well. Also, if they suck in the first half, like we were talking about, they get out to a bad start, all of a sudden you'll have the conversation, hey, did we trade Breece Hall at the deadline if we have no plans of keeping him? Yeah,
if they're 2-6, I don't see how they don't explore trading him at that point, but that 4 years went quick. It just feels like not that long ago we were talking about this young group of guys, and now we're talking Breece Hall might not be here after this year or traded in season.
Let's get to some of your calls now. The Gus Buster Umbrella Hotline is open, ladies and gentlemen. First up today on the hotline is a diehard Islander fan. So that's why we got to go to him first. Ooh. Jason in Jerusalem starts us off. The NHL draft is tomorrow, and the Isles have the first pick. Hello, Jason.
Hey, guys. Shout out to Matty Martin on a great career.
Amen.
Yes,
and, thoughts and prayers to the Philbin family. You're talking about all this Mount Rushmore. Here's a better question. Who is your Mount Rushmore of all-timers who played for the Jets? Meaning they didn't need to have, among all the people who ever put on a Jets uniform, who are the top 4? Based upon their NFL career.
Rodgers and Favre have to both be on there, no?
I would think
you can have Namath, Rodgers, and Favre on there.
I mean, if based on what you just described,
well, you also have John Riggins. You also have LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah,
you have Revis, Ed Reed.
I think Revis makes it. I think if we're doing it depends. Just pound for pound, best football player, right? Is that basically the question?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great. I mean, Ronnie Lott played for the Jets too. He's considered maybe the best safety of all time. So it's like,
Yeah.
How about we do this? We can only take one position. One position on the Mount Rushmore, meaning like if you choose Rodgers, you can't put Namath, for example.
Okay, so let's say you have QB, you have running back / wide receiver, and then you have defense, and then you have a fourth one.
Well, it could be anything.
However you see fit.
It doesn't even need to be wide receiver. I mean, Art Monk played for the Jets too. Tom Ace just made that point. That's a great question. I don't know, Matt. Do you have a four that stands out?
I think I would take Rodgers for the quarterback, and I know that's going to kill Jet fans with Namath, but I think I'd go Rodgers, Revis, Tomlinson, and Reed. Maybe it's hard.
I think LT's on my list. I don't know. I mean, LT, like when I was like getting into football, like LT was my favorite, like non-Jet. Like he was just amazing. Like his MVP season in 06, just unreal. Yeah, this is a great question, Jason. Very good question. It's tough to only deal with four. I mean, if we did like a top 10, it'd be a lot easier. That's for sure.
Oh, sure. I mean, especially like you said, Art Monk and Ronnie Lott, a lot of people who just put on the Jets uniform right at the end just for a cup of coffee. Even the Ed Reed era. Did that even last a full year?
Gator makes a good point. Devontae's going to be in the Hall of Fame someday. Like he's one of the best receivers of his era. Yeah. Sure.
I'd still put Namath among the others. Because of the era and how they weren't throwing it the way that they were, I mean, Namath and Unitas were on a different level than everybody else of that era. I'd have to put Namath on over Favre and Rodgers simply because you're not comparing likes with likes. But obviously, to each their own.
Yeah, I mean, someone said Jason Taylor earlier in the chat. We can only hope his son is as good a tight end as Jason Taylor was as a defensive lineman. I mean, Curtis Martin is still in the conversation too, John, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just, Frank Gore would be in the conversation too. Not the Adam Gase Frank Gore, but Niners Frank Gore.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shame that the Jets were not able to keep Riggins. Riggins was just a beast.
Yep, he was. That's a good call, Jason.
All right, be well, guys.
You got it. Jason in Jerusalem checking in. That's a great question. Man. That's tough.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. That is really hard to cut that list.
Alan Faniga, too, by the way. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's true.
And he was good with the Jets, too. Like, it's not like we got a bad version of Alan Faniga. He was still awesome.
Yeah, as someone said Mawai in the chat as a Hall of Famer. I mean, there's a lot of really good options.
Yep, that's a very good question. More calls right now, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man who actually played for the New York Jets and always has a unique perspective on things, or did he actually not play for the Jets? We don't know. We'll find out. Mr. Clifton, how we doing? Clifton? Kyle? Now it's not letting me switch Clifton to the big screen. Kyle?
I'm here.
There we go.
Hey.
A little tactile problems this morning. Yes, I did play for the Jets, and yes, I was excellent. I had early hair back then. Things have changed, but the memories remain. I think the four for me would obviously be Rodgers and Revis, right off the top, and then I would think Mawai and Lott would be the four guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking just like best football players.
Player.
Like Kevin Mawai is one of the best centers of all time, 100%.
Yeah. Just as a note to our earlier discussion, I still have a deposit in Hempstead, Long Island for a New York Knicks tattoo that was supposed to go on my posterior. I sobered up at that point and never returned.
Wow.
So that was probably.
I think you made the right choice.
Circa 1994. The other two guys I was with, they were going in a different direction, and they actually got it. I think that they might regret it to some degree. So, the other thing is my Rushmore actually matched O'Leary. So, big men think alike.
Let's go.
I like the Jets in the opener. I don't think that Rodgers is going to acclimate that quickly. I think he's going to be serviceable. I think at some point they maybe will have a winning streak. I think that they might even make the playoffs. They'll probably be marginally better than we are record-wise. But I think that we have to have an advantage week one at home, especially if, the scheme and running the ball and a new kind of approach takes, right? Like, I feel like we are going to be able to run the ball with this line. Now, this is not the best team in the league to try and run the ball against. I think it's going to be a close game in game one, but I do think that we have a shot. I expect a closely contested and hoping for the Jets to edge out a victory in week one. That's
Kyle, from your lips to God's ears.
Take care, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton, who did not get a Knicks tattoo in 1994. Smart decision.
Very wise decision not to get it right there. I like a lot of the points that he brought up, especially with Rodgers, right? Because he joined the Pittsburgh Steelers so late. That he wasn't there for OTAs. I believe he signed during minicamp, but that stuff I think matters a little bit in trying to get as much chemistry as you can with the receivers. And it might take him a few weeks to really hit his stride. And you had the point earlier too about his week one struggles, even in his MVP season. So I really don't think it's that crazy if the Jets can go out there and win in week one.
Matt, we're about to do something, and it's really a test for the audience. How fast can someone be sent to the hole? Ladies and gentlemen, Six Rings is on the line. Hello, Six Rings.
Hello.
God.
First off, big fella, I'm learning the history. And for Charles, I grew up with a mental disability too, but once you go work a few shifts, you're actually going to feel better about life. Because I also had the chance when I was younger to go on these EIs and disabilities, but I said no. And then I got a career at the hospital. So when Charles works a few shifts, maybe 20 hours a week, it's actually going to be better.
Hold on a second. Let's separate the Charles Gorman job advice that you're giving, because that's fine. We all want Gorman to do well and get a job. But you think calling into a Jet show, holding up a Drew Bledsoe signed jersey.
No, because this is for big fella.
What do you mean it's for big fella? History. You needed to buy a signed jersey to understand the history of the team you root for? You didn't understand
this is my dad's birthday gift.
Okay, so you're calling into a Jets YouTube show, holding up a signed Drew Bledsoe jersey that is a birthday gift for your dad, and you are trying to make the case that you're understanding the Patriots' history because you bought that? That doesn't make any sense.
No, because I know the quarterback before Tom Brady.
And is your dad
even iconic?
Is your dad even a Patriots fan?
Yeah, I think he likes football.
Hold on a second. What do you mean you think? You spent money on a signed jersey and you don't even know if your dad cares about
Well, my dad
football?
is a sports fan. He likes hockey, football, so it's a surprise.
But does he like the Patriots?
My dad is more a fan of all sports. You know what I mean?
He doesn't have a team?
He doesn't have it. He likes hockey.
That should be you. You were wearing Dolphins gear on the show the last time you called in.
Oh, those are T-shirts, man. And
yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They're a rival. You don't understand fandom.
Snoop
You don't
Dogg.
understand rivalry. Don't tell me about Snoop Dogg. You're not Snoop Dogg. I don't care about Snoop Dogg. You called into a Jet show and you've worn Patriot gear. And then most recently, you called into a Jet show and you were wearing Miami Dolphins gear. Don't tell me it's just a T-shirt. It's not. It represents the team you root for. That's the whole point.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
No, what do you mean? That's literally what the point of being a fan is.
I mean, New York, I'm sure there's a lot of people walking around and they don't know what's going on with the Yankees or the Mets or the Islanders. And if you go up to them and say, what year was Babe Ruth traded in? Not every person's going to be able to give you a straight answer.
Are they wearing the team's gear?
I don't know. People do that.
Then what's the relevancy of what you're bringing up in that scenario?
Because it's a T-shirt.
No, but it doesn't make any sense. You're claiming to be a big-time Patriots fan. Those are your claims. And a real fan of it, the New England Patriots, would never wear rival clothing. You don't seem to understand that. That is the cardinal sin of fandom. It's like you cannot be a real person. I refuse to believe that this is a real call.
This is real, man. Hey, man, you're telling me there's so many cases where people claim to be fans and they go wearing other T-shirts.
You're not a fan. You're a fraud. Wear the NFL logo on your chest and get an NFL hat like Rob Lowe did, and you could just root for the Shield. You are the biggest fraud that regularly still tunes into the show. It's unbelievable.
Hey, I wouldn't call myself a fraud. I would call myself
a fraud in the sense you might be a good human. You don't sound like a bad guy, but you are embarrassing the entire country of Canada. You realize what you're doing. You're bringing shame to an entire nation.
No.
Yes, you're not even from the New England area. You bandwagon to pick the Patriots, and you learned who Drew Bledsoe was yesterday, and you claim to be a big Pats fan.
No, I knew Drew Bledsoe from a while ago.
Oh. Next time you call in, you better be dressed up like this. Otherwise, I'm not letting you on the show.
I got 2 lives.
6 rings bond over here.
Meeting. See, I got my suits, and I live a double life.
Well, you should call in wearing that instead of your Pats gear.
No, but
yes,
I don't want to show. Why would I wear a suit to the show? I mean,
because be a professional instead of being a fraud. I want a professional, not a fraud.
Can you see how this might come off as trolling?
Do you guys want to go to a football game, a Patriots-Jets game maybe this year?
No.
Not with you.
Can you see how this comes off as trolling, though?
I'm not trolling.
Can you? But I know you're not. But can you see how maybe some would think so because it's a Jets show?
It's a Jet, but I don't. Who cares about that? It's
what do you mean? Who cares about that?
I just want to interact.
I have 41,000 subscribers. I would say 97% of them are Jets fans.
And I'm the other 4%.
Right, but they don't call into the show wearing Patriots gear. You're the only one who does that.
I'm not trying to troll. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, you're successfully doing it. Honestly, you've reached a level where people are just fascinated by just how your mind works that no one even sends you to the hole. So I'm left with no choice here. I have to bring on my enforcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
You know who I am, you son of a bitch? First of all, you're going to take that shit off right now. I don't give a rat's ass what you want.
You know what, buddy?
Hey. This is the Jets territory. Hey,
you ain't on my tax bracket, and you're not in the tax bracket below me or below me, buddy. Now, like The Rock says, you can take that candy, turn that son of a bitch sideways, and shove it straight up. You know what? Top guy,
come over and bitch slap you like I'm your daddy, old bag. And you know what? I'm going to shake your...
Now look what you've done, 6 rings. You fake Pats fraud. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut you off and cast you out with the sodomites. Some time in here will make you feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it. Well, that escalated quickly.
The tax bracket line was an all-timer, though. I got to give 6 rings some credit for that one. Made me really laugh. But those two going at it was something special.
It just unbelievable. 6 rings just ducking, though, man. Come on. You can't duck. You can't leave.
Nope.
Sad. Well, I mean, how do we follow that up? It's not going to be easy. But there is a guy on the line that I know is dying to say his piece on Six Rings. Matt, I don't know if you've ever been on for one of these special calls. So the last call with you is going to be with an OG and one of the all-time greats. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to say hello to the great One Punch Brigger.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see Asmaniacs complain. What he call him, One Punch Brigger. You need to get a job. What he call him, One Punch Brigger. The beast is on his ass. Call him One Punch Brigger. Has anyone seen Bean Mac? Call him One Punch Brigger. He will only need one.
Where did Six Rings go?
He left, Dave. He just quit. He dropped off.
We thought B-Mac was a fraud, right? At least B-Mac had a semblance of a brain, I think. I mean, this don't mean to disrespect people with disabilities, but this has to end. I mean, this guy's a clown. He's a clown. He's worse than a clown. I don't even know what to say with him. I would suggest, Jake, that you charge him a premium just to be here. You know, make yourself a few bucks. This guy's, you know, he's lost. I mean, he's just lost. I mean, wearing, you know, Dolphins gear and, you know, the fraud Canadian Pats fan that he is. I mean, comes on here, disrespects us. I don't know. I mean, just let Beast give it to him, I guess. I don't know. But charge him a premium to be here. Okay? You know, that's what we got to do to make this guy pay. Make him pay big time.
I'm amazed no one sent him to the hole, Dave. I was shocked. Usually he doesn't take long.
Yeah. Well, he's got to go. I mean, some way, shape, or form. He doesn't seem like a bad guy. He's just stupid. I mean, that's the only thing it could be. He's got it. I mean, you can't tell me he cannot find Patriots fans around the nation to support his, you know, fraud fandom. I mean, they would probably just get rid of this guy knowing what he is. Nobody likes bandwagon fans. I mean, you know, to jump on a team after winning 6 Super Bowls, I mean, that's just tells you something. He has no legitimacy. And, you know, I can't deal seeing this guy here all the time. Jake, you have to charge him a premium for being here. You have to. You have to make him pay. This is the only way he's going to pay. And Matt, I respect you, but leaving Don Maynard off the list, I mean, you don't. I mean, I know you know your Jets history, but he's the guy that got us to the Super Bowl. I mean, you can't leave a guy like him off, Matt. You can't. You just can't do it.
So who would you take
off? It just goes to show. It just goes to show you how history is lacking in our country as a whole. You know, because we can't forget the past, Matt. I don't know. I'd like to hear your view of that.
So who would you I had Klecko, I had Revis, and I had Joe Namath and Curtis Martin. Who would you take off to put Maynard in?
I'd have to take Klecko off. You know, really, I love Klecko too. I mean, he's a great player. I mean, I love him. He's Pennsylvania native, truck driver, man of achievement. But you can't. I mean, we have one Super Bowl in our history. How could you eliminate the man to help us get there? I mean, that's history. We have no history without him. We have, you know, that's how we get there.
Okay.
You know, I understand your viewpoint.
I didn't see him play.
Yeah.
I didn't see Klecko play.
I mean, you must have seen.
I didn't see him play, and I thought he would be my first guy off the list that I would put as the honorable mention. I think you can make a strong case for him. I have no issue with Don Maynard in anyone's top 4, but I don't think it's egregious to put Klecko on him instead. Klecko in it instead.
Well, as big Jets fans, nothing's egregious, you know. I mean, we all have our opinions. I think I come from a different era where I saw him play, you know. I saw the old AFL play. I know the great. Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what. I know Matt believes in achievement, though. So, Matt, your thoughts on the moon landing? Gerry thinks it's fake. We on the show believe it's real. We believe in achievement, as, of course, Dave Briga does. Your take on the moon landing?
Happened. Definitely happened.
There it is.
So you're a man of intelligence, whereas that other guy isn't. That Jake mentioned. You know,
I would like to think so.
You're a very intelligent person. So I'm giving you a break on the Don Mater because I know you're a legitimate Jets fan, and I love your show and your appearances here. So no offense, you know, we just have different opinions. I come from a different era. I saw him play, and I understand. You know, I understand, Matt. You know, what's your view of this? Yeah, what's your view of this Pats guy? You know, what do you think we should do with him?
I like your idea of charging him for time. I think that's a good start. I think we should maybe steer him in the direction of finding a Patriots YouTube channel that he could go hang out with. I don't know why he comes to the Jets channels all the time.
He's just a glutton for punishment. He doesn't care. He's not too bright, Matt. He's just a very, very dull person. Like Jake said, he may be a nice guy, but you know, he's a loser. Let's face it, a bandwagon loser. Make him pay, Jake. Make this guy pay a premium to be here. That's what I tell you. Make yourself a few bucks on his dope.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Beastbreaker.
That's my
He thinks that Gerry needs more shots upside his head. This cowboy hates when you don't believe in achievement. Well, they call him one-punch Brigger. The moon landing was free. They call him one-punch Brigger. His claim is not true. They call him one-punch Brigger. Hated jokes, he's fighting sides. One-punch Brigger. Don't you know they need one?
Man, how's that for your first Dave Brigger call, Matt?
Electric phone call. Dave's a great guy. I appreciate the call.
Unreal. Matt, this was one of my favorite appearances that you've had on the show. We laughed, we cried, we got smarter and dumber all at once.
This is the Jake Asman experience.
I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
All right. Later.
Matt O'Leary, NY. Subscribe to Matt's channel. God. Jets Johnny says, if a cannonball is worth 5 raffle tickets, that call's worth 20. Ladies and gentlemen, we're boosting Brigger's raffles with that brilliant call there. Unbelievable. 6 rings. Just the ultimate fraud fan. Just wear the NFL shield hat. That's it. That's all you need to do. You root for the league. You just want both teams to have fun out there. That's it. Gator writes in, 6 rings is entertaining. Bring them on. We got to see the fraud fans too. He actually makes more Jets points than Bobby. Gator says, can we find out if 6 rings Patriots Mount Rushmore? Bet he can only name 2. Tom Brady? Drew Boyd? Like, he didn't even know any, God, I can't. Anyone who's watched the show the last couple of weeks knows his knowledge of the Pats is nothing. Like, he literally knew nothing about the team he claimed to root for. First, he claimed he was a diehard fan, and he was exposed immediately. And look, he might be a nice guy. I just don't understand why he doesn't grasp the concept of rivalries in sports. And look, if he's going to be the Pats fan that's going to troll and call into the show, be the Pats fan. You lose all credibility when you call in and wear Dolphins gear on one of your calls. Unreal. So we can't even be like a fake fan properly. Just increase the fraudulency of all of it. Unreal. All right, more of your calls right now. Appreciate all of you tuned in. If you tuned in late, you've missed quite the show. But at the end of the show, to pay homage to the great Gerry Philbin, we will give away this 1972 Topps trading card of Gerry Philbin. And we will give away a signed Gerry Philbin Super Bowl III champs inscription photo at the end of the program. So we've got 2 daily prizes for this show. First time we've ever done that. And then, of course, if you don't win, you will get an opportunity to still win later this week when we do our weekly raffle prizes of the Glenn, Fields, and Sauce autographed jerseys. With that said, let's get to your calls now. Jordan's on the line. He's next. What's up, Jordan?
What's up, man?
First-time caller?
Yeah, first-time caller. Been a long listener of the show for past 3 years now.
Let's go, Jordan. You're in the raffle for 2 for being a first-timer.
Appreciate it. I have a question, though. So about Justin Fields, right? Let's say he has a good season, win about 6 to 8 games, right? Would you still draft a quarterback for the following year?
I guess I got to see how it looks, right? Like, like they could win 9 games and he could be a passenger on that team, and if
Yeah.
there's a quarterback they love, I don't think it would stop them from necessarily taking that quarterback. So I think it's more like, sure, the record matters. You got to win games, but like I feel like it's one of those things we got to see what it looks like, how they get to that record and how he's playing. Because if it's like what happened with the Bills, for example, Tyrod 9-7, they sneak into the playoffs, they lost in the wild card round, like they still moved on and drafted Josh Allen, traded up for him, right? So I could see the Jets doing that if something like that happens too.
Right. That's a good point. And also, why don't you think that they're going to stay with a 4-3 or you're going to move to a 3-4 on the defense? Because I think a 3-4 would add some versatility to the team and would kind of eliminate like having that big body in the middle to stop the run and just keep Quinnen in there.
They're going to be like a 4-3 team. That's just kind of their style.
Their thing, yeah.
That's why we spent so much time talking about who's the DT next to Quinnen, because you have Jermaine and Will McDonald as your 2 edges.
Right. Because I just listen to Bart Scott sometimes on the other shows, and he always talks about, the Jets moving to 3-4, and he thinks that it would benefit. And, I just like Bart. He was a good Jet, good
I work
player.
with him. Yeah.
Oh, you do? That's awesome.
100%. Jordan, good call, man. Appreciate you making it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Call back anytime. I think we'll see a lot more versatility with the defense. That's what I think is going to be something to watch. I'm not saying that they're always going to be 4-3 or there won't be some downs they go 3-4. But it's not just going to be the solid wide 9, hey, we do it our way, and that's it. What I was really encouraged when we heard from Wilk speak was how game to game, week to week, they're going to adjust their plan based on matchups, quarterbacks they're playing, tendencies. And like Salah would say, they didn't do that, though. How many times did we see that? And the Jets were so late to adjust, it felt like, too. They would make adjustments. In the second half, the defense usually played a lot better. You go back and look. But it never felt like it was timely enough. And I'm at least encouraged by what I heard from Wilkes on some of the adjustments that could be coming a lot faster than what we're used to. I mean, they got real players here. How they use Sauce, I think, is going to be unique compared to what we've seen. I mean, I'm excited about the defense. I think there's a lot to like about this unit. I know there's some concerns with can they stop the run and, right, who's next to Quinnen in the safety spot, but I think we get bounce-back years from Sauce, from Quincy. I think Quinnen is going to have a big season. I think Will McDonald still has a lot of room to grow. Jermaine's going to be back. Like, I think there's a lot of talent there. Michael Carter, he's fully healthy now. Let's hope he stays healthy. This was Steve Wilkes a couple weeks ago talking about the roster.
Well, you just called two guys that I think are phenomenal and at the top of their game within the league. Everything we do starts up front. I don't care if it's stopping the run, getting to the quarterback, creating a new line of scrimmage, and Quinnen is that guy that can do that. And when you look at the second level, you talk about Quincy, you talk about Sherwood, 2 great linebackers that I'm excited about. They're working well together right now with one another. Of course, we did what we did in the offseason with Sherwood, which I was excited about that. He stepped up, taking a leadership role. And when you look at on the perimeter, Sauce, Brandon Stevens that we brought in, AZ, who we drafted, 3 phenomenal guys that can do the things that we want them to do outside.
I'm excited about Wilkes. It's a good hire. He's been a head coach before twice. Head coach and an interim coach. He's had success. I think that's going to take a lot of stress off Glenn as a first-time coach, having, that rock on that side of the ball helping him. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, Bo C is in the raffle for a 10 spot. I mean, of course, Bo is in the raffle. Bo knows.
Bo knows football. Bo knows baseball. Bo knows tennis. Bo knows basketball, too.
Bo knows channel memberships.
Yeah, here we go. Pat McAfee's Tank Top, David Aaron, Ray K, Tony G, P.A. and Sema, Zachary Berner, Peter Burandis, Tony Pepperone, Chris K, and Nathan Shells, all receiving channel memberships. If you just became a channel member, I posted Gator's long recap of Beastbreaker versus the bag of dicks candy that big fella sent him. So check that out if you guys want some funny bonus content and you didn't see the show the other day. Bo, appreciate you. I hope you like the Bo Knows video. And Bo, by the way, the Justin Fields jersey that you won in one of our raffles, I got an email that it should have arrived today. So check your mail if you haven't. And that Fields jersey you won should be there, I believe. More of your calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say hello to Pork of the Morning. Hello, Pork. Pork?
Hey, Jake, what's up? I was thinking about the whole Mount Rushmore thing, you know, and am I coming on? Oh, I was thinking about the whole Mount Rushmore thing, and like, what if we take out the Hall of Famers who would be in there? I mean, for me, I would probably go with, without the Hall of Famer, Mark Gastineau, Wesley Walker. Oh, there's a couple other ones in there.
So this is Mount Rushmore Jets that aren't in the Hall of Fame?
Maybe not. Aaron Glenn would be there.
Oh, this delay is brutal. Poor callback. I can already see this is going to be a nightmare. I won't be able to go back and forth with you. Call back, Pork, so we're not delayed. I think his question, though, if I understood, was Mount Rushmore of Jets that aren't in the Hall of Fame. So you can't obviously put Namath or Klecko, Revis, etc. Gastineau, I think, has to be on there, right? I mean, there's a debate whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame. Honestly, Gerry Philbin might be on there. Guy was the leader of the Jet defense that won the Super Bowl. I mean, he was the all-time Jet sack leader until Gastineau. Wayne Corbett has an argument. Altoon, Wesley Walker, they certainly have arguments. I mean, Nick Mangold has an argument. I think Nick is Hall of Fame level center. He might not get in because it's really hard. Mo Lewis has an argument. Mo Lewis should be in the Jets Ring of Honor, by the way. I've said this for years. Years. Some younger Jet fans wanted to put C.J. Mosley in the Ring of Honor. And I love C.J. He's a friend of the show, but Mo Lewis is an all-time great Jet linebacker. Look at his career. David Harris, another really good player at that spot. DeBrickashaw's in that conversation. It's something to just do for it. I have to really think about this. It's a very good question. You remove Hall of Famers, who's on the Mount Rushmore of Jets. So it's like the Mount Rushmore are very good. Borderline elite, right? Because DeBrickashaw and Mangold had seasons where they were all pros. They were elite. Winston Hill's in the Hall of Fame, Jay. You wouldn't count. Rich says Connie Carberg. Love Connie. Connie should be in the Jets Ring of Honor, too. I've long said that. Should also be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Dave Briga hounding 6 rings at Pats 12. Send Jake $100 super chat. Amazing. Briga, get his ass, baby. All right, more of your calls right now. I appreciate everyone tuned in here. Join the Patreon if you haven't. Get in the Discord. I want everyone that regularly calls the show to be in there. Build that community. We got over 500 people in the Discord now. It's just amazing. Let's say hello on the line to a man who calls into the show in the nude, day in and day out.
Well, there's a feller they call Charleston Jets rude, 'cause he calls the show nude, never wears a shirt. And some folks, they don't think he's got pants on either. It's a gosh darn nudist camp. Let's hear it for that Charleston Jets Rube and see if he has any Jets points today.
Boy, in-game adjustments, could you imagine? I kind of forgot what that looks like as far as the Jets are concerned. That would be spectacular.
It's more rare than you wearing clothing, Mr. Rube.
I'm telling you, it's the truth. The moon landing was real. You know, the Earth is round. It's not flat. And Bush had nothing to do with 9/11. These conspiracy people need to give it up. You know, it's a little ridiculous. But no, I'm glad that we're facing Aaron Rodgers week 1. We got a much better shot than if we faced him, say, week 6 or week 11 or something like that. So I am thankful for that, and I do think that we are going to win. But the most important reason for my call today is I wasn't on live during this debate. And a lot of you young guys aren't going to know, but I'm about to tell you something and have you look this up, and you're going to be very, very happy. Tawny Katane, redhead, Tawny. Last name is Kitaen. And how you got to look her up is do Tawny Kitaen on Seinfeld, because just seeing pictures of her doesn't do justice. So Tawny Kitaen on Seinfeld. And then also she was in the Here I Go Again White Snake video. But the best video she was in, do you know Sam Kinison, Jake?
The comedian?
Yes, all-time
Yes.
great comedian. I'm not sure if you're aware, but he put out this cassette, because back in the day it was cassettes. He put out this cassette called Have You Seen Me Lately? It's a stand-up routine. It's spectacular. You got to listen to it sometime. You'll laugh your ass off for 45 minutes straight. But at the end of this, Sam Kinison redid Wild Thing. And there's a video, and it's all the who's of like 80s rock, Aerosmith, Motley Crue, Billy Idol, Rat, Bon Jovi. They're all in it. But Tawny Kitaen is the Wild Thing. And it's a great tune. One of his lines on there are, every time I kiss you, I taste what other men had for lunch. You got to watch that. Sam Kinison, Wild Thing.
I will check it out.
But the biggest one that you got to see to really appreciate Tawny Kitaen is Google Tawny Kitaen on Seinfeld, right? That's the way to go. But anyways, that's it, Jake. Just wanted to put my 2 cents. Not only is she the nicest redhead, she might be one of the nicest ever. But that's all I had for you, bud. I'll talk to you soon. Love you, bud. Bye.
All right, Mr. Rube, okay, he's gone. I got knocked off StreamYard there, so I don't know what happened. But I guess Charleston finished his points. Can you guys hear me? Am I even on right now? I think I am. All right. I just got some incredible breaking news that I cannot wait to share. Ladies and gentlemen, the tattoo that we showed you at the beginning of the show, I did not realize this, right? We showed you the just unreal Asmaniac tattoo that a listener named Gerry Jet received. Well, I just checked the Discord, and first off, let me just set this whole thing off, because this is why I think every Asmaniac needs to be in the Discord. So I posted on the Discord the tattoo and talked about how we have the greatest audience ever, which I stand by. But Gerry Jet is the guy that got this tattoo, right? Asmaniac tattoo. JQuest wrote, either this guy was coked out of his mind during a 48-hour binge, or he really is built for this shit. We need him to call in ASAP. I just saw Mimosa responded to JQuest. JQuest, you bum, you animal, you jerk. And she wrote, he wasn't coked out, JQuest, LOL. He's my brother, and I helped design the tattoo. He just moved to Gainesville to help me with my mom, and I got him in the Jake show. Obviously, he loves the show and has been a Jet fan as long as I have, and clearly he doesn't have issues tattooing his body. He has several, LOL. Unreal. This is Mimosa's brother who got this tattoo. Wow. And I should have put it together, because now I'm looking back at the email and it's the same last name. I didn't even realize, because he didn't mention it. That's unreal. What a wild turn of events. First off, you just got put into a body bag, JQuest. But that is unreal. And I'll tell you what, Mimosa, you're in the raffle for 20. I'm putting Gerry Jet in the raffle for 20. We're matching it. And tell your brother to answer my email so I could send him a bunch of merch as well, Mimosa, if you're still watching the show. Unreal. What an honor. Gerry Jet's only been watching the show for a couple weeks. The guy already got an Asmaniac tattoo. That's insane. I can't believe this. What a turn of events. Unreal. Shout out to the Mimosa family, man. Wow. I mean, there's blood on this tat. It's so fresh. Now, we do need to clarify, though, Mimosa and Gerry Jet, what part of the body is this on? Because I can't tell. Is it on the wrist or like shoulder, lower back? It's hard to tell. I'm not a tattoo guy. But just amazing. We need Gerry Jet and Mimosa to call in together. That'd be awesome. All right, more of your calls. How about that for some breaking news? Black Gypsy's on the line. He's next. What's up, Black Gypsy?
Yeah. I would get a Jets tattoo if we won a playoffs. Not even won a Super Bowl.
Just won a playoff game?
Fucking playoff game. If we make the playoffs, I'll put Fields on my arm.
I'm
Right
holding you to
fucking
that.
there.
Justin Fields tattoo if they make the playoffs.
Right there. If
right.
we make it,
Bet.
I'll literally go to the tattoo parlor and tape it so we can see me put Fields on my arm. Because if we make it with Fields, that's a miracle. Miracle. So something that Charleston Rube said that is can't let go by. I was at 9/11. I was National Guard at the time, taking people out of the city back and forth. So when people say stuff like that, you need to do your research. Like Bush's dad was head of the CIA. It was definitely the reason why it happened. The CIA let
I don't want to touch this.
yeah, we're not gonna touch it, but that's just people need to have their facts before they say some shit like that online.
It's people are gonna
they're gonna say what they're gonna say, but being in the military and being there, like we researched it, like we know what it was.
I'm not touching
Yeah.
it. My stepdad's brother died in 9/11. I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy. The next thing, so instead of having a Mount Rushmore, let's just name our 10 favorite Jet players. Like the 10 players that we love the most, because Mount Rushmore is so hard because you have to take people off that list. And there's a lot of guys that we love on that team that aren't going to make that list. So top 10, like who are your top 10 favorite Jet players?
I don't know. It's hard to come up with a top 10 like that on the spot.
No, you'd have to write it down and put it all there. Moon landing, also fake. That's just ridiculous.
You being aligned with Gerry is not a good thing.
I hate the fact that I am, but it is true though. There's so much facts behind it. It's a video cast with a director and all types of shit.
How do you feel about women voting? You have a hot take that will get me canceled?
I want them all to vote. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I want Gary's wife to come on and tell us, because he said, as she said, she has no right to vote. So I want to hear her actually say those words to us, because I can't see a female saying, I don't want to have the right to vote. That's just nuts to me. For 6 rings, the only way you should let him back on is if he burns a jersey or wears our jersey every time he comes on, that he has to buy himself. Otherwise, you don't let him on. Like you can be in a chat all day, but I'm not letting you on a call until you have Jets paraphernalia and you say, I love the Jets. And the Jets are the greatest. All the stuff that we need to hear. Otherwise, don't put him on. When he calls in, just skip over his call. Say he's on there, just skip over him. So when we come on, we can talk shit about him the whole time. Because for him calling into our show is ridiculous. Like what? There's no Patriots, Jake Asman out there for him to call in and talk to them. Like,
Apparently not.
That shit is garbage. That's pretty much all I have, bro. Right?
Well, you've said a lot today, Black Gypsy.
Always.
Ladies and gentlemen, Black Gypsy.
Rejected. Sorry.
God. This has been one of the more wild shows we've done, and somehow it's June 26th. Kyle Clifton in the raffle for 2 with this $10 super chat. How about shows dedicated to discussing our division rivals as we near training camp? So a Bills season preview show, a Pats season preview show, Finn. I definitely have the idea of bringing on someone from each of those teams and kind of going through it with them. I think that will make sense. Kyle, we're going to have 6 rings on, of course, to break down the Patriots because he knows everything there is to know. Bino says, Jacob, I'm a huge fan, but an Asmaniac tattoo gets me very single very quickly. I actually like my wife. Hey, I'm not telling anyone to get any tattoo, all right? I'm not a tattoo person, so the thought of putting anything on my body that's there permanently, not me. But anyone who wants to put the Jet logo on, I just think you have a glutton for pain and punishment. Because haven't the Jets done enough to you that you now want the pain of their logo going on your body forever? But shout out to Gerry Jetman, because the Asmaniac community lives on forever. Because win or lose, we're here no matter what. This is legendary, especially now that we know it's Mimosa's brother. Unbelievable. Unreal. All right, more calls right now. Indy Jets is next. What's up, Indy?
Jake, I think that I'm going to design some bingo cards, and we're just going to send them out to everybody because I did not have, Jets tattoo is one thing, but I did not have Asmaniac tattoo on my bingo card today. You never. I mean, you never. The surprises never stop.
It's
It's
crazy.
just. And then to add, oh, the Asmaniac is Mimosa's brother is just that's got to be that bonus center slot on the tattoo or on the bingo cards, because nobody would ever have that. But a good job for Briga. I think he just I really feel like Dave Briga held back against 6 rings, and I'd like to see Briga put just a little bit more effort into it, because I think Briga was being too nice.
Dave Briga, I mean, he's the OG for a reason, man. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I disagree with Black Gypsy. I do not want to see 6 rings in Jets gear. We have you have your Chiefs fan, you've got Bobby, who I don't even a Giants fan or whatever. No, 6 rings. Keep your damn Patriot shit on. I don't want him don't wear our stuff.
He could expose himself
I do
as
not.
a fraud and wear other teams' gear. I don't want him in Jet gear. I recommend he just buys an NFL Shield shirt and hat, and he just wears that, and he roots for the Shield. That's it.
He can wear his Patriots jersey. He can wear that Dolphins jersey. He's probably wearing a Buffalo Bills thong. I don't care. Just stay away from the Jets. If he wants to call, he comes into this show. Well, there's a reason why a Patriots fan is calling in here, because the rest of the Patriots community is trash. There's no content creators like this show, Jake, or any of the other ones. So of course they're going to call into a great community, but don't come in here and be a dick.
Him not understanding
so
fandom is just wild to me. Like, he doesn't understand why wearing Pats gear and Dolphins gear on a Jet show is a no-go. He just doesn't get it. It's wild.
Yeah, exactly. And so no, stay off this. Don't. I'm glad that you didn't send him that Jets jersey, because I wouldn't want to see him in it. It's just that he don't want him in this community. Let him stay as a Patriots NFL fan, whatever the fuck he is. I don't know, but anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Good job, Briga, for that. Yeah, that's all I got, Jake.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andy, you said a lot.
You get the fuck out.
Well done. All right, you guys want a sick update here? We're getting this live in the Discord right now from Mimosa. The tattoo that her brother got is on the back, upper middle back. This was just said in the Discord. Unreal. Once again, shout out to Mimosa and her brother Gerry. Gerry Jet. Unreal. Mimosa writing to J-Quest in the Discord. J-Quest, that's just who he is, LOL. I could live vicariously through his tattoos. He is the best. Amazing. If this is not the best endorsement yet to get in our Patreon Discord, I don't know what is. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Join, you sign up for the year, you get 10 raffle tickets. And you can still get your discounted hotel rooms and all the other info we have in there for Tampa all in one spot. Shams writes in, at this point, though, I feel 6 rings could name more Jets than Pats players. Probably. Also, can we give Sham some love? He doesn't want anyone to know. But last month, the man got engaged. He's keeping it private, but he gave me the okay to share it publicly. So congrats to Sham and his soon-to-be wife on their engagement. And as an engagement gift, I sent Sham and his wife 2 tickets to join the Asmaniacs at Yankee Stadium this Sunday for our Yankee outing. So congrats to Sham and Kimberly on their engagement. One of our own, a committee member, is engaged, and no one knew. I didn't even know until this morning. So congrats to Sham. If you're in our Discord, Sham's the moderator for that. He knows how it works. He makes it happen. So we appreciate his contributions there and everything he does on the committee for Asmaniac Madness. Gator suggests a Canadian tariff for 6 rings. Needs to be a paid member and purchase an annual Patreon membership and eat a bag of dicks on air sent by Big Fella. Now we're getting somewhere. I like this idea. A Canadian tariff for 6 rings. Given the old bag of dicks treatment.
What in the hell is this?
Have some candy.
Beast, you know it's a joke, right?
Beast, I'll eat it with you.
Throw the bag of dicks out the window.
Throw the bag of dicks.
Get back to work. Come on. Free those dicks. Let them fly.
Oh, my God.
Sagajoia. You let that dick fly. You feel better?
Ooh.
Is that the first time your hand was on a bunch of dicks?
Oh, no. I'm going to go have a sausage sandwich and enjoy the rest of my day.
I still want to know how the sausage sandwiches were. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls here on the program. We say hello right now to the great David T.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me, full screen, bitch. Fireball, whiskey time, David motherfucking T.
Hi, Jake.
Hello, David.
Love the first time callers. Keep them coming and keep them calling.
Oh, yeah. Remember your first call, David? We'll never forget.
Yep. And you know my story. I just thought it would be so cool just one time to get on your show, and if you would accept me and do it. So the rest is history.
And now look at you. You're a core part of this community, David T.
Thank you. I'm very proud of that. And speaking of your show, so the Beast and 6 Rings, two men simply talking things out. But 6 Rings is really growing on me, Jake. And I think when you get down to brass tacks on him, it's, he's a Pats, so-called Pats fan and everything. But I'm really skeptical. But I think the main thing with him is it's about your show and about the people, and he enjoys getting on the show and conversing and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that does bother me, and I think if the patch shirt and the background and everything, I think maybe for him to get on the show, it doesn't have to be NFL stuff, but something to do with your show, Asmaniac or the Jake Asman show. And no scenery of Pat stuff or whatever, but I think he's a good guy, and he's growing on me.
Well, I think the issue he has is that he calls in, and rather than just immediately start talking about Charles Gorman, he calls in, he's holding up a Drew Bledsoe jersey. So you're just asking for it when you're doing that. It's if you want to call in and make a point on something going on in the Asmaniac community that we're discussing. But when you call in and bring attention to the fact that you're a Pats fan, and everyone knows that you're a fraudulent Pats fan at that, and your most recent call before the one today, you're wearing Dolphins gear, people are just going to not let it slide, and he's going to hear it.
Yes. He's shooting himself in the foot with a shotgun, basically.
Yeah, he's Plaxico Burressing himself. Absolutely.
But anyway, I like him, and it's a lot of fun, but I think it's all about your show and the people, to be quite honest with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great, always nice, David T.
I got my eye on you, Jake. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
David T is the nicest person that calls the show. I mean, honestly, the man is just too nice. Too nice. It's unbelievable. All right, last chance to get in here. Shout out again to Gerry Jet, Mimosa's brother. We gave him 20 raffle tickets. Mimosa's in for 20. I'm excited. I need Gerry, if you're watching, or Mimosa, if you're still watching, when your brother answers his email, Make sure he includes the t-shirt size. Love it. Unreal. Yesterday on the show, there were a bunch of people saying that Beastbreaker is a graduate of Hogwarts. He has denied that strongly. He is on the record multiple times saying he is not a graduate of Hogwarts, but I keep getting sent photos of him at Hogwarts, and I don't know if it's real or not, so I'll just ask Beast directly, but this was just sent to me by a very astute listener. It appears to show Beast about to ride an owl. So I'm just going to ask Beast directly, and we'll get to the bottom of it all together.
You know what time it is? I'm Beastbreaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
Now, yesterday, Ron Weasley said that you did go to Hogwarts. Okay.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Enough's enough. Enough is enough. Next time Six Rings comes down here and wants a war, make it a $200 purchase for him. But it has to be extra premium. $200.
Okay.
No less. No less than $200.
That's more than I make in a month.
I understand. Hey, well, Jake, you're a star. You've done your job. You've done your time. You're a star. You're already the star of stars. So, hey, you paid $1,100 when you were in New Orleans. I remember that very clearly because you said, why the hell would I pay $1,100 for internet that was just like, what the hell? Really? And you know what? Today was a good day for me. 6 a.m. What the hell was I doing at 6 in the morning? Cutting grass like a man. And also doing a bunch of
I see.
Chopping weeds out.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. I like doing that. It's fun. And my peppers are starting to kick in. My tomatoes are kicking in.
Any Quidditch?
Please take that bullshit down. I'm not interested in that.
So this is not you, right? We're just clarifying.
No. Sorry.
Okay.
Nope.
No, don't be sorry. I want you on the record. People are accusing you of being a wizard.
Well, half of them don't got a clue nor a brain. That's why their IQs are lower than cheap toilet paper from Dollar Tree. And that's a guarantee. See, I go to Costco for my toilet paper. Same with my pork chops, my hot dog, my burger meat, even cereals that are in bulk. It's the best. That's why figure it out. It's called if you can't handle it or can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen.
Mm.
You know who said that? Harry Truman. Look up the name. Harry Truman. My grandfather knows who Harry Truman is. Harry Truman was the president of the U.S. He was way better than Eisenhower. And you know who else was good before Harry Truman? Do you remember a name called Patton?
George?
That's right, George S. Patton. That man was tough, and he didn't back down from anybody. And you know why he didn't back down? Because he was a man. He had honor and he had dignity. That's what our country fails to realize because they don't want to study history. You know why? They're too yellow to do the job.
Hey, Beast, who was more of a difficult battle for you in your career? Six Rings or Voldemort?
Six Rings, he was no match. He's lucky I didn't not Big Show, but I'm lucky I didn't do the giant. Get my hand around his throat, lift 7 feet in the air, and drill him right into the ground like a railroad spike. Next time, Six Rings, just remember, next time, don't enter Jet territory.
Peter Castro says that you're a graduate from Dick and Sausage.
Hey, Castro, you're next. I'm gonna take you to school, and I'm gonna take you down Jordan style, and I'm gonna knock your teeth out.
Wow, strong, Beast, strong.
Enough is enough. Man up or get out. Now I'm gonna have a little fun. Get on my phone, play a little Monopoly, and enjoy the day. Now,
What's on the agenda? Just Monopoly on the phone?
Yep, because I'm staying out of the heat. I started at 6 in the morning, then until 7:30. Because
Didn't Did your neighbors have an issue with you mowing the lawn that early?
No.
Why?
It's all up here. Common sense. Common sense. See, if you're not ready for the heat or anything else, you're not a man. You're just yellow chicken shit who ain't got no balls until you could grow a spine. Come back to me in 10 years.
How do you feel about Lance Armstrong? Because he's a man, but he only has one ball.
In the words of George Carlin, Lance Armstrong. What came in his balls and his bicycles and his steroids and his yellow shirts and the dumb empty expression on his face. I'm tired of that asshole. And while we're at it, F Tiger Woods too. He's another jack off I can do without. Now I'm tired of being told of you admiring this, because aren't you sick of being told who your heroes ought to be? Who ought you be looking up to? I'll choose my own heroes, thank you very much. And F Dr. Phil too.
Black Gypsy says, Beast, are you ever going to get a job?
Hey, Black Gypsy, do me a favor, sonny boy. Worry about yourself, homeboy. Do your own thing. I'll do my own thing. Go be yourself. I'm going to be myself. Now, move along, sonny. Thank
Tom
you.
A says
Bye-bye.
that you're buying property, building hotels, and you might even pass go a few times.
First of all, object. I'm a corporation guy. I'm a corporation guy, number one. I told you this several different times. I got 5 of the top corporations here in the United States. I'm very smart. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm getting, and I know what I have to do to make a living. See, it's called, all you got to do is pay attention, learn, listen, and follow direction. If you don't do that, then what good are you going to be? What are you going to be in the next 10 years? Start thinking about it. If you don't think about it now, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do for the rest of your life?
What are you going to do in 10 years?
Let's see. What am I going to do in the next 10 more years? Have a future. Look forward to good things. Think about the positivity. Maybe get a car somewhere down the road. You never know.
A car?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna look forward to it. I'm gonna look past that and keep going. It's called pick up your legs and walk.
Why do you need a car? Just use your broom.
Am I not gonna tell you this crap again? I don't believe in bullshit or nonsense. I watch Star Wars. I watch Indiana Jones and Terminator and Braveheart. Even Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. Please
we draw the line
more.
at magic and wizardry.
Are you smoking cigarettes again?
I don't smoke.
Are you seriously smoking cigarettes?
I don't smoke.
Really?
No, I don't smoke.
From a character standpoint, I'm not playing. Do I look like
No,
I'm playing to you?
I don't smoke. I have the occasional cigar.
You?
That's about it.
Do I look like I'm playing to you? I don't think I am.
Do you have a license, by the way, Beast?
I have a state ID.
State ID. Now, did they? What about like a broom license? What's that look like? For like Quidditch.
I'm not gonna tell you this again. That enough of that shit. Enough.
So okay, this was just sent to me by a listener. Apparently, this is you landscaping at Hogwarts. Is that the confusion?
Enough of this bullshit.
So maybe you didn't go to Hogwarts, but you were the
I'm
landscaper.
Sorry. I went to Cary Metro High School. I told you this 10,000 times.
After high school.
No.
Is it possible that you had a landscaping gig at Hogwarts, and that's why
are you seriously blind?
No, I'm not blind. I'm just looking at the photo.
Well, this looks like bullshit from miles away. I'm not gonna buy into this condescending, overbearing, overbloating, over blowhard shit. This is nonsense. This is foolishness. Complete foolishness. It's time we got to put all this garbage behind us and look to the future. And this, I'm sorry, this does not resemble me. I resemble the Nasty Boys and other forms of life as well. Oh, and Six Rings, if you want another match with me, here's the deal, you pug. Steel cage match, ECW style. And I'm going to take your ass from pillar to post, buddy boy, and I will rip you a new asshole. And by the time I'm done with you, the last thing you're going to be doing is your gravestone's going to say, here lies a low-life, egg-sucking low-life turd with no life, no brain, no guts, always wearing Patriots gear because he's got nothing better to do but be a little blowhard in the grave.
A lot of salient points made by Beast. Man. I think that might have been the confusion, though. He was maybe landscaping at Hogwarts, and people confused him for being a student. Because it's not adding up. There's so many photos of him at Hogwarts, but Beast says it's not him. And look, I believe Beast. I mean, Beast is a trustworthy guy. That's my guy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the opinion of one of the greats. But first, a super chat from Nicholas. He says, Beast and Brian Knobs are the new Nasty Boys tag team. Nicholas, thank you for watching the show. Let's get the opinion now of an all-time great. Hit the new emoji we added for this guy this week. Big Cho's on the line. Hello, Coach.
What's up, Jake?
How we doing, Coach Cho?
How you doing?
Fantastic.
I was been watching the show a little bit. Thought I'd give you a call.
I appreciate you calling in and watching the show.
Yeah, shout out to number 81. He passed away today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Was it yesterday?
It was.
Shout out to the great 81. Rest in peace, my brother.
Speaking of resting, how's that chair, Big Cho?
Yeah, it's nice. I like my recliner.
I could tell.
Been running some errands early this morning with my daughter and came home just chilling.
Are you going to have a lot of moment of silences on your podcast?
I don't know. That's a good point. Hey, officially, we're gonna go with the Big Cho show featuring Shania. We're gonna go with that.
Big Cho show featuring Shania Twain. I can't wait.
Yeah. So hopefully around July 16th, something like that.
It's probably the most anticipated debut for this fan base since Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago.
Yeah, I doubt it, but I appreciate it. How long you been on the air today?
1 hour, 47 minutes, and 24 seconds.
Nice. That's exact. You coming back this afternoon?
Oh, you know it.
I'll have to tune in. I usually get my notification on YouTube so I won't miss it.
Every day, 10 a.m. hour, 4 p.m. hour, Big Cho.
Okay. Sounds good. It was something I was going to ask you. I forgot what it was. Hey, I know what it is. What's up with the deal with, what's his name, Adam Schefter?
What about Adam Schefter?
Has he been saying something about the Jets
No.
or Coach Glenn?
No, he has not.
Oh, okay. I thought I read that somewhere. My bad.
Interesting question here from Dave Briga. He writes in, do you believe a Big Cho show would have any excitement?
I hope so. It's it's going to be based on the history of sports back in the day, so it just depends if you're into that kind of stuff or not.
The history of sports.
Correct.
There's a lot of history to cover.
Yes, sir.
Jason wants your thoughts on the moon landing.
On the moon landing? What's he want to know?
Your thoughts on it.
I mean, I believe in it.
Phantom Green and White says that you're stuck in Cho motion.
Cho motion, I love it.
Barbarossa wants to know how far back are we going? Ancient Greece.
Nah, about 1960s.
Coach Ulbrich wants to know, are you starting with the invention of the ball?
No. I'm going to start with the AFL, NFL.
Gator says, I think Big Cho might need an intro.
What, an intro to your show?
It could just be you rocking back and forth, sitting in silence.
We can get that done.
Yeah, I'm just going to lay out, and we're just going to do a Big Cho moment of silence for you, all right?
All right, sounds good.
All right.
How long we going, Jake? That's a long moment of silence there, brother.
I'm just waiting for Gator to tell me he got all he needed. Stand by.
Oh, Big Joe, how are you doing today, kid?
Hey, what's up, Beast?
Just doing some homework reviews and trying to do some checkups on my Instagram department. And so, how you doing? How's your day been? You had a long day?
Nah, not too much. Ran some errands with my daughter. Went to the store. Just kind of chilling out. She went to the gym. I got to do a few things around here.
Well, you better stay out of that heat there, because this heat wave, it ain't over yet. Long way to go. And you know what I mean by we got a long way. See, this is just the start. The start has just already begun. We got a long way to go. We got July, we got August and September. And then by October, you'll see a big nice Jets jacket. How much did you get for that, buddy, big fella?
Oh, I'm not sure. Appreciate it.
It's good on you. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, always. Just remember, in the words of the guy from Braveheart, yours before using this. Yours this. Is that familiar to you?
Actually,
you ever watch
no.
Braveheart? Try watching Braveheart. I've seen it 60 times. I'm used to it. I'm used to the fighting scenes. I'm used to blood. I love it. I like those blood scenes. Those are beautiful. It's like an art. See, the English, they used to hate the Scots. You know why? Because there's one guy that used to say, the trouble with Scotland is there's a bunch of full of Scots. If we can't get them out, we'll breed them out. Taxes or no taxes, they will learn the hard way. That's an anxiety of sense. Is it? So if you highly recommend, watch Braveheart. You'll love it. You'll love the fighting scenes. Check it out. But
yes,
I'm about to lay down here because this heat. You ain't seen nothing yet. We got 3 more months of this stuff, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. But you enjoy your day, and I'm gonna enjoy my day. And time for me to.
You get the fuck out.
Jake, you back?
Hold on, Coach Cho. You just ruined the moment of silence, so we're gonna reset here real quick. All right?
Are you serious?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nailed it. Big Cho, well done. Well done. Gator will definitely get that intro and get it all set. What a show this has been, huh? Real quick, this was just sent to me. Apparently, this person claims this is Hagrid, Beastbreaker, and Little Joey. I guess at Hogwarts or somewhere near it. Let me just bring Beast on. Beast, this isn't you, right? Beast?
Hello? How are you?
Beast?
Oh, you missed the big fight. I took out 6 rings on the Jake show, and he ran away from me because he knew I was going to crush his ass all over the place because he came in with Patriots gear on the Jets show. I'm like,
Well,
whoa, buddy.
we're listening into
I'm like,
this.
give me
Here
your
we
number
go.
one, you could take that crap off and wipe your you-know-what with it because I ain't buying it. Oh, yeah. He knew he got in some trouble because people knew I was going to kick his ass from all over the place because I crushed him before. I'm on the telephone. Please wait. So how you been doing?
Hey, Beast, you're on mute. You're on mute, Beast. Who's that lovely lady? Beast? Beast.
Rejected. Sorry.
Man, we have a lot of questions to ask Beast next time he's on. Who is he on the phone with? Who is he rizzing up? Man, so many questions. How's that? This show even now has a cliffhanger, too. All right, it's raffle time. Thank you to Big Cho, the moment of silence that allowed me enough time to compile all the names of everyone who entered our daily raffle for the 2 Gerry Philbin related items. So here's how this works if you're new to the show. We play this.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, yes. Here are all the names on the Wheel of Champions. Only one can win, though. Music, please. If you don't win, you still have a chance to win any of our weekly prizes. This week, we have a signed Aaron Glenn jersey, we have a signed Sauce Gardner jersey, and a signed Justin Fields jersey. Today, we're paying homage to one of the great Jets ever, RIP to Gerry Philbin, Super Bowl III champ, AFL All-Pro team. Someone's winning the 1972 Gerry Philbin Topps card and a signed Super Bowl 8x10 photo of Gerry as well. 2 different winners. First time we've done a raffle, a daily raffle with 2 winners. Good luck to everyone. And as always, thank you guys for tremendous support. The first winner will be the winner of the 72 trading card. And that winner is listener Anthony L. Anthony Logariano. Anthony, congratulations. This will look nice in the man cave. I'll even include in the package I sent it to you something that you can actually put the actual card on to display on a shelf or on a TV stand, wherever you want to put it. So that's awesome. Okay. Because of that, that now means it is time to draw another winner. This will be the 8x10 autograph photo of the great Gerry Philbin. Here we go. The second winner today is Kyle Clifton. How about that? Clifton, the winner of our second daily raffle prize. So 2 longtime viewers and supporters of this channel coming away with awesome Jets gear to pay homage to the great Gerry Philbin. And in honor of Kyle Clifton winning the prize, you all know what needs to be played. Hit it. Unbelievable. What a show. What a time to be alive. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Matt O'Leary. A cliffhanger at the end. And again, thank you to Mimosa's brother. What a twist. I had no idea. This was Mimosa's brother who put the Asmaniac logo tattooed on his body, on his back. Unbelievable. Thank you all for your tremendous support, even in the slower times right now. We still are getting awesome numbers relative to other NFL teams and content creators. So truly grateful for that. This show's a show, and that's what makes it so fun. I'm back this afternoon. We're going to be joined by our guy, Dylan Terriman, in his weekly spot. So Dylan will be on with us. He watches the show all the time, so he's up to date on all the madness of what's happening here. So it will be a good one with him. Until then, though, I will talk to you guys soon. Jets. Jets.
Hey, do you go to the gym by any chance and play basketball by any chance or no?
Not recently. Why? You thought you saw me hooping somewhere?
I go to LA Fitness in Levittown. We have this tournament, right? 64 of us, and we play basketball, 1 versus 16, and we kind of grade each other based on our, how we play. So I'm the 8th seed. I got to go versus the 1 seed because I beat the 9 seed 10. Shout out to Ted easily. But I got to play the 1 seed, right? Here's my problem with the 1 seed. His name is Bobby. Bobby, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I love you. This guy, have you ever smelled rotten potatoes, Keith?
No, but go
Dude,
on.
so rotten potatoes is the second worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. The first is Bobby. Do I spray this guy with Mando before I play him or some butter and make him smell better? Or do I just grind it out and try to hump my way to a win?
I have a rule. If I can smell you, I'm going to tell you. Have you told him?
Bobby it's just another level, bro. And, I don't even know what to say. The 16 seed didn't even show up when he had to play him. And Bobby thought that he just won because the guy was afraid, but it was because he smelled.
He's like, no, I can't.
He didn't show up.
I can't have that smell in my nose.
If I post this guy up, I might vomit. I'm serious. It's 10 times worse than rotten potatoes.
Thanks for the call, Lane. There's enough humans that smell like rotten potatoes on the subway.